Welcome to 20 Years of Icelantic, a podcast miniseries where we bring together the people who built this brand to share the stories, memories, and moments that shaped the last 2 decades. In episode 3, Scotty VerMerris, Ashley Hart, Ben Anderson, and Annelise and Loevlie share stories from the early growth years, building momentum, taking Icelantic on the road, and bringing first tracks to life.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
a good question.
Hell
of a question mark.
How'd you find these guys?
Well, the funny part is when you guys started coming to the brands, when we actually started selling skis.
Yeah, that's true.
A couple rough years.
It's working.
I know.
Yeah.
Working.
No, yeah.
I remember first it was a friend from college that was rooming with Ben's cousin is how the intro happened. And
That
was
Tom?
Tom Cole. And remember being like, wow, these guys have a ski company? Little did I know there was like 2 pairs that had been sold of like
And not
the
delivered.
ski company. And Tom's like, you got to meet these guys. And that was the first trip you made out to Utah with the 143 Scouts.
Yep.
And that's where Scotty came in.
Yeah,
Yes, close.
I was gonna say Tom Call was my cousin Sam's best friend's older brother, and he was from Ohio at Ohio State, and was moving out to Utah. So he heard that we were starting this brand. So on his way out to Utah, he stopped in Colorado, and we gave him a few pairs of skis to like spread the word in Utah, you know. So he moved out to Utah. And then he kind of stayed in touch with us, just kind of giving us updates of how he was doing, just getting the brand out. And that's when he called me at one point and said that he had brought the skis to a party, and there's this guy, Scotty, that saw these skis and just fell in love with it and was like, I got to get on a pair. And he's like, I hear he rips, so you got to get out here. So we ended up making the... Yeah.
Well, so it's awesome because this is also when my relationship with Ashley began. So, all right, to backtrack. So Ashley and I were working for a wilderness therapy program together, living around Salt Lake, kind of in between Park City and Salt Lake, but on the Salt Lake side. And I met Ashley going to a party at his house on one of our off weeks. And we'd have these ragers after we'd come out of the field. And I saw the Scout Stout, the 143.
Scout Stout.
I mean, I'm a small package myself. And I saw this little 143 fat ski and I was like, what is that? Like, I think Ashley said, I will tear that a new asshole. I guess I might have said that, but I saw it all night. I really wasn't even engaging the party. I wanted these skis. I wanted to know more about it, and I was fascinated. We became friends. I think that led to you coming out for a visit, and Ashley introduced me to you guys. It took me skiing. It was our first play date. We lost skis off the top of the car that day, I think, which was a sign that it was time to get some new skis. But so we go up to Elta, and we met you and Trivy, and we skied. I was like, kind of shy about it, but you're like, do you want to get on the skis? I was like, yes, please. And we went and ripped these skis, and they're amazing. Just fell in love. By the end of the day, we had a thing going. You guys were like, we're gonna send you skis.
I will never forget that trip because, we got the call from Tom, like, you need to come out and ski with these guys. So Trivy and I drove out. We show up to Elta. We're waiting in the parking lot. All of a sudden, these two come rolling up, and they are a hot mess. Scotty hops out of the car. We've never met. So Scotty hops out of the car. He's got a full face helmet on with his huge beard coming out of it, goggles on. Can't see his face at all, and he is worked up. Sorry, we're late. The rack. They forgot to close the ski rack on their car, so their 2 pairs of pocket rockets flew off in the canyon, and they were just disheveled. It was like, okay, all right. Well, luckily we brought you some skis. So we got them on the skis. We got both. Did you get out? I think we only had 1 pair at that time.
No, it was one pair.
Rockets. Yeah, so we just had 1 pair. So we gave them to Scotty. I'll never forget though, we did the first run and just watching him on those skis, I was like, I've never seen someone make skiing look more fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like pinball and bouncing around, jumping off stuff, carving. And it was just like, I still hadn't even seen his face. You know, like it was this guy, you know? And I'll never, we get to the bottom and Trivy looks at me, he's like, he's keeping those. I'm like, definitely, you know?
Nice.
I mean, I knew that ski was meant for me the moment I saw it, and it was totally true. It's a very unique ski. It was It was
and
awesome.
you were meant for the ski too.
Yeah.
I think that's the
match
other.
made in heaven.
It was a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that. So that's when our friendship started, which has been a huge part of my life and both of our lives. And I turned around immediately when you were like, we're trying to expand sales. I'm like, this guy's a natural born salesman. That's what he does. I'm like, so like we basically, Ashley and I introduced each other to Icelantic, but he was where it started. And then I was like, well, Ashley's got to be the guy.
Well, then Ashley, so he was there too. And it was a great day at Alta. Like, it was deep, and we were hiking some stuff. And I'll never forget, we did some line, I don't even know what it was there. Ski, pow, just, it was awesome. We get to the bottom, like, that was awesome. Here comes Ashley. Boom, 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 tomahawk. We're like, oh, shit, you know? Gets back up, keeps going, boom, boom, boom. Take a couple of good diggers on this run, and we're sitting there like, oh my gosh, like, is he okay? Like, oh, and he comes down.
Scouts might have been short for him.
Well, yeah, I think he was.
I think he might have been on some.
He was on something.
Yeah.
I was. The truth was, I was like, this is it. You're gonna be able to showcase to the ski company owners how good of a skier you are. And we boot pack. Forget to clip my boots in. So fully open boots, and I'm like, this is it. And fast, 5 seconds later, just like.
Well, little did he know the impact was made, because he gets to the bottom of this run, and we're like a little nervous, like, oh my gosh, like, is this guy okay? He's packed with stuff. He gets down, he's like, that was the best run of my life. We're like, really?
Yep.
And then, well, so then, yeah, it was an epic day, but then we ended up going to your guys' house afterwards. And that's where I did see your sales skills, because we're at the house, and in your room, you had these cases of the rectum fire.
Yeah, right.
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
Captain Phil.
Captain Phil's rectum fire. And he's telling us all these stories of Mystique in the West Indies, and how he was importing this hot sauce and selling it through Utah, you know? And we're like, oh my gosh, like, this is, it was just crazy. So I think we were only there for like a day.
Yeah,
Because
it
then
was
we
short.
left, and it was just like, these two are keepers, you know? So then, so we really got Scotty on the program right away. It's like, okay, we're like, Scotty, you're our first athlete. You know, you are sponsored by Icelantic.
Which was a dream come true.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
I mean, I had been following the ski industry at, like, just passionate, nerdy love. I knew about every single film part. I read every magazine, page to page to page. And, I never really tried to get in the ski industry, but, like, this was like a dream come true, honestly.
Yep.
And here I am.
Oh, it was a match made in heaven. You know, it really was. It was like, he got all the shots for us. Your first edit, I mean, I'll never forget. He went out and filmed this edit the first year, all on Scouts. And he sent us this thing, and it was crazy. You know, I mean, you were dropping 40-footers,
Front
you know,
flips.
just like front flips. We're like, oh my gosh, like, this kid is insane. And then I think it was the second year. I'm trying to remember, like, what. So, like, that following year, we went to Vegas.
Second year of Vegas.
07, 08?
Where it might have been 06, 07.
Yeah,
and
well.
you called Surefoot, and I was randomly in there getting some work done by Ted, because they were like the dealer of bringing in like 6 pairs of skis in North America. And you give them a call and like, wait, is Ashley there? And to me, I remember that phone call so vividly you're like, hey, would you be interested in coming to Vegas and help sell? And I'm like, this is your moment. This is your time to shine. Let's go. And I got so excited, and going to Vegas of like, I'm gonna leave my job. I'm gonna do this thing. This is gonna happen.
Yep.
And that's where we met the first time.
Yeah.
Where we get to Vegas, and Anna's like, let's take a walk. Let's go take a walk outside. And you're like, so what do you want to do? What's your plan? And I'm like, I want to like have a sailboat and like go to the islands a lot and ski a bunch. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and totally
I
vetted
remember
me.
that one so well.
Who's this guy?
Did he nail it?
Oh, Ashley showed up so hot to Vegas. with
Cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat, like
Briefcase.
briefcase, because Tom Cole was all about FaceTime. And so Ashley had to get, you adopted that, or maybe it was yours. FaceTime. You gotta get FaceTime, and so you came, man. You got FaceTime with anyone he could.
But what was in the briefcase?
Whatever.
Computer. printed out order forms.
Yeah.
Place for business cards.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I knew he was the
So
one too
legit.
because, like I was saying, that first year, no one showed up to the booth except for me, before noon. And that I'll never forget, like walking to the convention center, going to the casino, just like by myself. And I look across the casino, and here comes Ashley. He's got his briefcase, cowboy hat, got a ciggy, just like, I'm like, he's gonna beat me to the booth. He's gonna beat me to the booth.
And he was up later than everyone too.
Oh yeah, he went hard and
Might
just
not have
made
slept.
it there. And he got to the booth and was just selling. Like you were getting that FaceTime, coffee for closers, just the salesman, doing it. And we were just
So
like,
good.
oh my, I was so grateful. I'm like, this is the guy. And was it right after that show that we went to the demo?
Yeah, we went straight to the demo.
Yeah.
And in my mind, there were all these skis that were being sold across the country. No idea the reality of it just being so new with the old rep that I'm like, I just want Utah. Just give me Utah. And he's like, can't give you Utah. Can't give you Utah. Me and Ben and him are sitting around at the hotel, the Ben Lamond. And Ben's like, after about 20 minutes, it's like, you haven't sold a pair of ski. And I'm like, well, fuck this guy. Let's go.
Yeah, literally, because it was like, we brought him out that
Yeah,
weird, because I
that's
think we
right.
had just hired Joe too. Like he might have had
Yeah.
somewhat of a sales season, or like starting it or whatever, but he was not doing anything. And I brought him out to the demo. I was like, hey, you're in Utah, come help at the demo. So he came and helped, and that's when I was like, okay, we got to make a shift. Like Ashley needs to own sales here, and we'll have Joe keep the sales in Colorado. So we came to that conclusion, like, all right, time to have our meeting. And we went into this meeting in the hotel beds, like sitting here and here, just like, all right, Joe, I'm giving the territory to Ashley. Ashley's going to take Utah. And he was all pissed, like, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, you haven't sold a single pair of skis. Like, you do not have what it takes, And that's when we passed Utah. We kept that agreement for a minute. And then it was like, you're done, Joe. And you just took over the whole territory. But yeah, I mean, I love that you both were introduced to us and to the brand at the same time and to yourselves.
Wow,
Like,
what a
was
twofer.
So
And
perfect.
bounced each other into it in
Yeah.
their own ways. Yeah, it's a
That's
beautiful
so
thing.
cool.
Couldn't have happened better.
Very
Come
cool.
on.
Where's that tequila?
So I think it was after that first year, or that first, after that whole experience, that trade show, that's when we decided to, harness your guys' energy and go
Send
to
you
do
on
a
the road.
demo tour.
Demo tour.
Demo tour, like,
Demo
okay,
tour.
timing.
the best way to sell these skis is to get people on them. And there's no better people to get people on them than this guy selling them and this guy skiing on them, It was like, that is energy so well spent. So, yeah.
Bought a truck.
No,
Well, the first year
it
was not a
started
truck.
with
Oh,
a,
no, it was your
classy-
Jeep.
Oh yeah, the Jeep.
It was
classy
your Jeep.
Oh yeah, the Jeep.
So,
we just saw pictures of.
It was three of us that did the first demo tour. It was Scotty, myself, and Thor, the 150-pound wolf Malamute. Love you, buddy.
R.I.P.
And all of the skis, and a demo tent, and our gear in a Jeep
Yes.
Yeah, that is.
with a big Icelantic boards decal on the back.
Yes.
I think we set sail on the first of the year after a rowdy New Year's Eve party.
Park City.
Little bit rugged, and
Uh-huh.
we got a nice flat tire out there in Idaho, and we unloaded every single ski
Oh,
on the
God.
side of the highway to get the jack out to then put the spare on, and that's how it all began.
Oh man.
I mean, some things
good.
never change, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like this is just
no,
that
something
first
par for
never
the
changed.
course.
Yeah.
And that first year, that was a smaller demo tour. And then it was like, you did some, but then it was like, okay, year 2, we're going to invest in this.
Yeah.
So we're buying a truck. We're going to put you guys on the road, and you're going to hit, 60 resorts in
60
3 months.
resorts, 6 months, and the two of
And
us.
$6,000 total.
Yeah, basically, for sure.
Yes.
Wow.
And we started at your old place. All of us were together,
Yeah.
and we were like, "This is gonna be the best time ever. Let's go!" And Scotty and I come out, and we came in hot and did, I want to say, like 10 or 12 events, and then we get to Tamarack.
Oh.
And Scotty's skiing with the Young Bucks. Jaron Stadler was there. Eric was there. And sent it. And they
That
were.
was at the end
I
of
had
it.
a
That
Well,
was
don't forget
during
the wreck.
That's what he's talking
there was
about.
also the wreck.
Oh.
No, the truck.
Well,
wreck.
so that's we're gonna have to get the timeline together. But the
Before you-
story he's telling, like, I hit a park jump mid mountain and I landed in the parking lot, spinning, and I broke my femur. And it's my first helicopter ride.
Yeah. Well,
That put a little damper on demo tour.
And I
that was
remember giving
sad.
you guys a call of like, okay, we've got 50 resorts left. I'm gonna keep going because Scotty flies off in the helicopter and then realize like
the last they
Scotty's
saw
not
him.
coming back on the 60 resort demo tour. And start calling our buddies that's like a substitute teacher to come plug in for Scotty, Zach.
Zach.
And we kept the tour going. Lot of vibes for Scotty, but we ended up doing that year, which I think those early years of demo tour, of how much impact and just also how much passion. Like what drew me to the brand was all of you and the energy. And then the product to me was a secondary piece, that it was this vision, this energy, and how powerful it was. And for us to have a little bit of that torch and start going to these small mountain towns, coming in hot and being able to spread it where folks didn't want to bring on new ski brand. They didn't want to have a bunch of 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds selling them a 143 ski. And we would just not take no for an answer of like, so what are you losing right now by not bringing us? You're going to be losing a lot. And just, it really was so much relationship based with Scotty and I being our authentic selves, same as you all had been in every relationship that was curated. That to me was what really helped blossom all of these relationships with wholesale accounts, and realizing that we would go into a territory with nothing happening, and after 2 trips, things were happening.
Yep.
And it was really powerful to see how much that time on the road and people actually getting on the product, and the product was evolving and shredding, and we were getting crazy long lengths. We had a 161 Shaman.
yeah.
The 56 Nomad and the 143 Scout.
Oh my
and
God.
it was so funny of just coming
Hard
in
sell.
believing
Hard sell.
so hard though in how this is the answer for surface area is king. And that was our mission of just, guys, you're going to be able to maneuver more. You're going to have the flotation. And are you sick and tired of being sick and tired with long skis? Well, my friends.
And I'll say no one has ever brought such stamina to a
Yes.
demo tours.
Good
Actually,
God.
it was
To
hard for me
anything.
when I was. The years kind of blend together, but the year that I did get injured, I just remember receiving a lot of photos and updates from the road. And SAA, you guys had like a cardboard cutout of me.
you, yeah.
So I was there in cardboard.
Yep, that's right.
But I mean, you made it all the way to Canada with the dog. You made it over the border with the skis, and you had Christian and Zach, and you had people, and you just went far and wide and hard. And what was your feed bag called? Your little snack bag?
Oh, you get the dirt bag.
dirt
The
bag.
dirt bag has...
all the snacks you can get from the continental breakfast. You just
you get bagels, you get little single-serving peanut butters, maybe some cream
But
cheese.
talk about thriving on a low budget. I mean, this guy deserves trophy.
Well, when
after
we got to
trophy for it.
Canada, that's when I called you to on that Canada tour. I go to fill up gas day one. I'm like, man, this is gonna be the best tour ever. We're gonna go BC, Alberta for 2 months. Declined. I'm like, that's weird. Declined. I'll just call Ben and Anna. I'm like, so the car's declined, and you both get on speaker, and you're like, so yeah, there's no more money, and it's literally day one where I'm like filling up the
another
gas tank,
backstory.
and I'm like, and to our old buddy Graham Haywood that was there, love you, bud. Graham and me are like, okay, this is the plan. Every day we have to sell one of our demo skis, and it's going to go towards gas, hotel, food, booze. And every
Scully's over
day-
here really just woof.
So by the end of the demo tour, there's like 4 pairs of skis left. But at the beginning, we had like, 36.
Yep.
And we would go stop to stop and get so stoked when we would go skiing and come back, and somebody's like, I just sold the bear skis, and we're eating tonight. Let's go.
Well, the first one started rough too because we had just bought a brand new truck. And we send these two out on the road. And I mean, did you make it 2 days?
It was
it the first?
We were
was
pretty
like
early
within
into the
48
journey.
hours.
It was within 48 hours. I get a call from Ashley. So the truck, we put the truck in the ditch a little bit. It was like, well, what do you mean? Yeah, it's kind of sideswiped, put the truck in the ditch. We're like, okay, hopefully, it's like, we got it to Telluride though, it should be pretty good, whatever. So we were going down to Telluride to meet him, and we roll into Telluride, and I see this truck for the first time, and it is it is total.
I totaled it.
The whole side of the truck is just like, the hood is strapped down. They have a mag light glue or taped to the front of it because there's no headlights.
That wasn't even a mag light. It was a cheap flashlight we got at the gas station.
It wasn't even a mag light.
It was duct taped in.
Yeah, a duct tape light on the front. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is literally day 2 of the big send-off. 60 resorts or bust, and they go out and just totaled it.
It was black ice. It was black ice.
I mean, I'll just take accountability. I slid the truck off the road on some ice and put her in some trees. They were soft trees, but enough to really do some damage.
So the truck is
Ashley was like,
this.
no, don't look at it. Just keep driving. Don't look at it. We finally got to a gas station, like a silent hour of driving, and like we finally looked at it. We were like, is it bad? It was bad.
It was so
Like
bad.
we were filming everything at the time too, so.
And the whole left side is just crunched. There's no light on the left side. There's nothing. And we're like, oh man, this is fucked. Okay, let's just go. Let's get to a hotel. And we start driving and had our full Tommy Boy moment going on. We didn't realize when it crunched, it dented the lock of the hood. And the hood just goes straight up. I'm driving. Scotty's got PTSD. I'm like, I'll drive. And it just flaps up. And I just look at Scotty and I'm like, ah! We pull over to the side of the road, dying laughing and being like, this is literally the biggest asset the company has right now.
Literally.
And this thing is totally fucked.
I do recall, like,
Did
Aspen Highlands, we went to a demo and we like pulled up on the bricks as we usually do, even though we're not allowed. And with that, I mean, that's not allowed, but let alone our vehicle looked terrible.
Oh,
and they were
terrible.
like, you can't have this here in the, and let alone turn it around, like, this doesn't look good. And we were like, oh, we can just tuck that away against we can hide the damage against the wall. They're like, do something. So we parked against a wall and they kind of let us get away with it. But, well, we went to the Yellowstone Club too. In the Penske van.
Well, that's the thing.
Penske, dedication at every turn.
Yes. Will we make it over Teton Pass? Well, that depends.
Penske's. Totally Penske's.
We put some chains on that vehicle because it was 2-wheel drive, no snow tires. So we put some oversized chains on that were like, whoop-bam, whoop-bam. Like,
And poor
slapping
Thor
the truck.
is in the back, and there's like a cop grate in between us. We're like, you okay back there, buddy? And he's like,
Well, we had to make a change. I mean, that's what it was. It's like we got there and saw the truck, and it's like, you can't take this on the road. This thing is done. So we got to get it fixed, and that's where we had to rent the Penske.
two-wheel drive with the chains. It was always the being like, all right, Scotty, you're lighter, you're gonna drive, and then I'll push it the first 50 yards. And so we'd give this thing a running start in any snow. It was just...
Well, we took the Penske, got invited to the Yellowstone Club, and we brought the van, and they're like, hey, they're like, okay, yeah, we heard you were coming. You're gonna need to park that way down there. I'm like, down there? Like, no, down there. Like, way down there, and make sure no one sees it. We're like, cool. So we'll walk the half mile up the hill. We did get hosted at the Yellowstone Club.
Nice.
That was great. And
my gosh.
all of those times, though, and those relationships, it is some of my fondest memories ever of how much fun it was, of us just also similar to what you guys have been talking about, of no parameters, go out and make it, you know? And us going out to realize like the relationships and how do we crack the nut of becoming a brand and getting that awareness of a brand throughout North America, because it was essentially like 8 years of being on the road throughout North America to get the brand out there for people to try. And that to me, I think, was one of the most powerful pieces for us to be like, no, we're not gonna fake it. We're gonna be, well, we'll fake it till we make it on some things, but we're gonna be ourselves. and we're just gonna start these relationships from the bottom and turn it into true friendships, where I love seeing all different types of folks that we know from that era right now. It's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're still doing it.
Yeah, we're still doing it.
We've always made an impact, and I think it speaks volumes to the strength of the brand and the people behind it. While it's certain times it seems like it's a hard thing to sell, it's actually not, and we've always been really well received. And I think that is about the experience that we offer and the messaging, and those years are just so fond. Like my fondest memories being out there with you, and it really speaks to the early years of our company too. You know, we've expanded this other experiential stuff because we knew that was something that was like ways for people to identify with our brand. That was just the beginning of the experiential stuff, and we still do a lot of demos. But at that point in time, we were like, skiing is believing, and we just got to get people to experience us.
Yeah.
And that was the best way we could do it.
About these experiential aspects of the brand that you've stepped into, like you started with these demo tours. Was the next phase first tracks?
First track.
Well, I think the first thing was just like, just the experiences with the brand. Like, it's amazing where you have like these massive experiences, like a Winter on the Rocks, where it's 10,000 people. It's this cohesive experience, but then so much of it is just the one-on-one connections. It's being on the road, being at the trade show, being at the demo booth, being at the shop, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's these personal connections that you make that like really attach and align and like connect with people. It's like, whoa, it wasn't just a sales guy coming in and telling me how great this ski was. This was someone who's just like, I don't even know how to explain it. I've never felt like this, but it's really interesting just to really think about like the group experience and that side down to the one-on-one experience. And that one-on-one experience is kind of what triggered this concept of first tracks.
First tracks.
Yes.
What is first tracks?
It's a hell of a time. Sign the waiver.
Have you ever been clipped out?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I was just thinking about like one of our first tracks videos where we were like the tap-in. Remember the tap-in?
So you got
It was
Sandy
kind
and
of
I to
like
do the most awkward video I've ever had to do.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
a
was
lot
like
for
a
that.
secret society.
But just from the top, I'll
From
let
the
you
top.
explain it. You're kind of the brainchild at first.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, one thing I want to mention, like, and it's become clear just having you two up here now, is it's really cool in this journey, and that's kind of how, we all started together by chance in middle school, but then along the way, we just met cool people, and we're like, we want to work with them. We don't really know how, but get on board, And it's just like, that's how it's been. And I always envision this like neural network sort of all these little sparks. There's like a main nucleus, and then there's all these little sparks, and like you have your own whole network, and it's just like created a cool little ecosystem. But First Tracks was inspired by that idea. We noticed that people wanted to be a part of this brand. They were following us. They were, wanting to be involved in whatever we did. And so I had met this guy, Hollis Carter, who was just kind of a little mastermind around like social networks and things like that. And we had an idea around building a community and monetizing it for a while. And Hollis had kind of done that before, so him and I sort of put our brains together and we created First Tracks, and it turned into a pretty funny story. It was wildly successful. We ran it for four years.
How many years was it? 4 years?
4 years,
Yeah.
I think.
And just really quick, can you tell what is first?
Yeah, First Tracks was it was a membership subscription program that gave you an inside look at all the ongoings behind the brand of Icelantic. So you would get exclusive access to next year's artwork. You'd get VIP tickets to any events we did. You got to go on trips with us. You got to
Zoom
ski
call.
with us. We
we-
did Zoom calls, to like.
Show them the new skis, or like
Yeah.
have a conversation with Par about the new art. So it was really this like way to be a part of what we were doing, and
Yeah.
have this insider track. And similar to like the First Friday concept, we're like, hopefully people are interested in this. And we launched it, and people were interested. It was just like
Broke the internet.
like the phones were blowing up. It was like, oh my God, all these people are signing up. So like all these people signed up, and one of the key pieces too was a trip. So like we got to have all these brand experiences throughout the year, but then there was one annual trip that, you know, everyone didn't have to come, but you had the opportunity to come onto this trip. And those trips were insane. I mean, every single one. Our very first one was in Steamboat. And we probably had, I don't know, 25, 20? I don't know.
Yeah.
Something, whatever. 20, 25 people show up to that trip. Out of the, you know, couple hundred that were in the group or whatever, but they came to this trip and we took them on an experience of a lifetime. You know, we started by just skiing Steamboat, just skiing in bounds. Next thing you know, it was a POW day and there was this run under one of the lifts, I can't remember, like Thunderhead or one of them, that was untouched, and we were like, you know, let's just send it. So we sent it as a group and we were just like, yeah, you know, and people are just yelling at us off the lift, and these patrollers are looking at us just screaming at us like, that is a close run! That is a close run! And we were all nervous too because we had the medallions. We had the like Colorado ski country medallions that are good everywhere, so like we can't get this thing taken, you know. And I remember one of the guys, he's just yelling up, like, you can't do that, and he's just yelling, he's like, the Lord Shaman brought me here.
No, the Lord Shaman made me do it.
Made me do it or something. We're like, oh my gosh, you know. So we do a couple of those laps and we're like, we got to get out of here because they're going to know. So we're like, let's take these guys into Fish Creek out of the side country in Steamboat, you know. It's the best place on the mountain. We know it's the best. So we're cutting in. It's like, all right, you guys, like, stay high on this traverse. Let's keep going. You know, we're traversing, people are drifting. Next thing you know, we're drifting a little bit too early, but it is deep. I mean, it is thigh deep,
good.
just like, everyone's like, oh my God, no one's come this way, you know? All of a sudden,
There's a
just
reason
like,
for that.
and we just roll up on a full cliff band in the canyon. If anyone's been there, you know that you can get totally cliffed out in Fish Creek. And we roll up with like 10 or 15 dudes, just like grown men, fully cliffed out. So we're like, okay, how do we get down this thing? And we're looking, I find one little spot, and it was kind of sketchy. You had to like hop off this little ledge onto another one. There's a little tree you could hop on, then hop off of that into like down below. So I did it first, so I get down below.
It was real sketchy.
It was really sketchy. So I was like, okay. And then Anna was gonna be like next, you know? So Anna gets down there, she gets on the ledge, and I think Sam was like giving her tips. And she's just like, shut up! Shut up! You know, screaming, shut up. And finally, just belly flops it. Just jumps off the cliff. I mean, it was so deep.
It was so deep.
Boom, she's okay. But little do we know, the two kind of leaders are the only two people below the cliff. Sam's up high with the whole group, and no one else is. And by the time you went off, all the snow on this, you couldn't go this way anymore. The snow was gone. You know, it was not, you're not hopping down on these rocks, whatever. So it's like, all right. So we're like, all right, you guys, like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, oh my gosh. So we're like, we got to find a way. So we start going up the canyon a little bit. And we find this one chute. And it's like, it's tight. It's just like one shot through this cliff line. We're like, this is the way, you guys, you know. And the first guy gets up there, and he's standing there, and he's just shaking. You know, you can see him just shaking so intense. And we're like, you got this. You got to commit. You got to commit. And he just, I can't do it. I can't do it, you know. None of them could do it. And it was like, oh, no. Okay.
A real bad situation.
This is the spot, but no one was doing it. So it's like, okay, now we got to go down canyon. So we start going down canyon. And by this time, we couldn't see them anymore because it's just forested. So like Anna and I are below and everyone's above. And we see this little gully coming out of the forest. So we're just like yelling up there. We're like, all right, you guys, just get in the gully. Get in the gully and you can come out, you know? And we're looking up there and what gully? What gully? You know, not anything. So for the next hour or so, we just see, you just hear like a boom, 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 boom. All this snow would come ripping out of the trees. And then it'd be like, are you okay? Are you okay? You know, silence. Sometimes we'd be down there, all of a sudden a ski comes ripping out of the woods. We're like, oh my gosh, whose ski is this? You know, so it's just carnage and we can't see it. So we're like, okay, we got to get up there and see what's going on because it's starting to get
evening
late.
Is
Yeah, it's getting late in the day. And it's like we're in the canyon. It's dark. It's getting
Night
dark,
is
kind of, and we still haven't seen a single person. No one's made it to us yet. So we had to post hole up, and I'll never forget it. Like we are post holing like nipple deep, just going up. And we get past this thing of trees, and we look up onto the hillside, and it's just like exposed rocks everywhere, and people are just blown up everywhere in distress, looking for skis, hitting their poles. This guy's like, I can't find my gear. It's carnage on the mountain. We're like,
so bad.
oh no, this is a real situation. No one is injured. No one's injured, thank God. And I remember like one guy's looking for his ski or like his pole, and he's just sitting up there and he's just like dazed, just whacking the snow with his other pole. I'm like, that's not gonna find it. That is not gonna find it. So we pretty much made the agreement. We're like, all right, you guys, like, Brian, you lost a ski, you lost some poles. Like, okay, here's my skis. We'll give you a new pair when we get out, but we got to get out.
Part of your membership.
So we all got these guys out of the canyon. It's a pretty long traverse out, and it's just like roller slide. I had to go out there on one ski, and it was just like, I mean, it sucked just getting out of this canyon on one ski. And I'll never forget getting those guys to the bar. We roll into the bar afterwards, and these guys had all had a near-death experience, and they were just like, oh my God, you guys are just buying shots, you know, like it was wild.
Most alive
They were
they've
there
ever
like,
felt.
the best day ever. Like,
I never
best
felt
day.
more alive.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I've never been more scared. I'm like, you could have shut down this business. We were not insured.
you signed the waiver, right?
We were definitely not insured.
So long story short, first draft.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of those characters too, they kept coming back to
Every
all
first
the
Friday,
events,
every
and
party,
formed,
every
like,
concert.
True relationships.
There
with
was
all
a
of them.
marriage.
Like there
Yeah.
were homies that were. Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was
marriage
a,
out
yeah.
of it.
Utah.
Some of them have bigger ski collections than we do of
Yeah.
our skis.
Oh yeah, totally.
And love bumping into anybody from First Tracks
Oh,
right now. It's the
so
best.
good.
Being like, let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because, yeah, I mean, it was 4 years of that. Like, that first year was really good. And then the next year was when it really went wild.
Yeah.
Like, that year
Was that
like,
Aspen with caroling?
we went to, we did, what were the trips? We did the Aspen one, and that was so fun. Yeah, we got, like, ski the mountain. That's when we met Owen Leeper for the first time.
That's
It was like,
great.
who is this
That
kid?
was so
like,
fun.
we all went up, and Owen rolls up. Scotty's like, oh, this is this guy Owen, you know, whatever. And we did one run with him, and we're, like, in a train, and he just did this jump run in bounds. And I remember like hitting this roller thing, and you're just seeing him like dropping out of sight upside down. Like, what are we going off of, you know? And we get to the bottom, and I remember Julian was there too. And we get to the bottom, and he's like, who the fuck is this guy, you know? So we ended up getting him on the team then, but went caroling with those guys. But I think one of the ones was in Utah when we went to Snowbird.
Alta. Or
Alta.
Yeah.
And that's when we did have a proposal, or they got engaged.
I think they-
or
yeah,
met
I
on
think
the
they
trip.
met at
They
that
met
trip,
on the
yeah.
trip. Yeah, this couple, they met on the trip, and then the next year they got married.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a win.
That's a win.
that's a win.
How long did First Tracks last?
I think it was
4 years.
And why did you end it?
It just became too much.
It became too high maintenance. These people were very
engaged.
very engaged is a good way to say it. Yeah.
So much stoke and just ready for the next thing. And we're simultaneously like running the ski company. And let's just start a boot company as
I
well.
was going to say, there's an
and do the
epiphany
same
at that
thing.
time.
And then we'll just throw in First Tracks
Yeah.
and nobody will sleep. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I think it became very clear that like all these other cool ideas, we've been full of ideas for our entire time here as a company, but some of them might have been distractions from the core focus, like the boots. Where there's no shortage of ideas, but it's like, where's that core focus?
yes,
And I think that's when I saw in my position, like a lot of discipline come back to the company, you know, and you had to make a lot of hard calls. And, you know, I moved back to Utah when it was like, we're upside down as a company, you know, like we got to get realigned. I think that's when we like started to cut distractions and like, let's really focus and clean this up. They evolved into a next chapter, I think, as we evolved,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I think that's a perfect segue too. Of like, there's the trajectory you all have been on has been like kind of like youthful bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
right.
a few
Right, let's get mature.
moments of like big losses.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
in the company, but also friends. And then there may have been a bit of a grounding experience around this time. Do you all want to talk a little bit about some of those experiences?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yes.
think it can be as, you know, it's been all sorts of challenge. You know what I mean? Whether it's wrecking the truck, you know, that type of thing, to getting snowed out at Winter on the Rocks to, the femur break to, the realities of trying to create a successful ski business in a very tough industry that's so competitive and so just like you've got to just think differently. Even as good as you are, it's going to be challenging. Every brand out there challenges. I remember seeing like that report from from SIA, like the cost of doing business, and it just showed like how much it costs for companies making under 5 million, 5 to 10, 10 plus, or 10 to 20 and 20 plus, something along those lines. And it was crazy to see how similar the bottom lines are, like the cost it takes to do these ones. But then you could see the radical swings these brands would have, with how like product focused this industry is. It's like you have this next new thing. That runway only lasts as long as the next new thing from the other brand. So it's the same people playing the game. It's the same brands competing over the years, but it's just this like leapfrogging reality of I got the next new thing. And when you don't have it, you're coming from a high of a high, and then you're trying to rebuild it. And it's just this crazy up and down cycle that, when you're young, you don't really have to deal with that just because it's all growth. You know what I mean? You're starting from nothing. So like, you'd have major setbacks throughout the years of like, how to cash flow this thing, how to operate a successful ski brand. So there's a lot of setbacks, but overall you're making steps and you're getting focused and you're continuing to evolve, but as we've gone, now it's like, it's 20 years now, which is just nuts. And now it's like, okay, how do you continue to maintain it? How do you continue to navigate the challenging times and learn to grow out of it? Because you definitely have to be resilient in this industry, to say the least.
Yeah, and I think something I talk about a lot too is just doing business with friends, which is something the world generally kind of like looks down on or, doesn't recommend. And that is what has been our whole MO this whole time. And I think in developing resilience, you need love and you need trust and you need support. And here it comes.
No, do it.
Yeah, I think it's just been beautiful how much we've all been there for each other. And,
yeah. And it makes our brand an anomaly in a way.
Yeah, through personal struggles, through business struggles. Yeah.
All of life. And it is all. For me, there is not separation. There's not work me and life me. It is all one, and it's because of our relationships. And it's because of what we've all created. And having people like Gary that made such an impact on our trajectory and came in as a best friend and homie and became a marketing director and just absolutely flourished. And all of us are together flourishing and being like, this guy is an icon. He has changed the way we're doing things. And to have his loss of knowing, like, for me personally, I know a lot of the times where things are tough and challenging, I try to pull little Gary out of like, what's he thinking right now? What would he do? What would he do?
Yeah.
And I just love the fact that we've gone through these ebbs and flows together, and Gary is watching every single piece of this puzzle and looking down and like,
I really
you guys
felt
are still
Gary
doing
today.
it.
I got choked up over there. I felt him today. He's definitely watching us right now.
Oh, yeah.
Who is Gary?
So, yeah, Gary, he was West Side Evergreen, East Side Clear Creek.
Yeah. He grew up right here.
Yeah.
He grew up
really
grew
up
close
down the
to
road.
here.
And
Yeah.
he was a few years older than us.
He was 2 years older than us.
Or 3.
Gary was my first boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lucky.
So lucky. Gary was hot.
And he
Gary
was
hot.
also, I'm glad we're coming back to Gary because he was also one of Never Summer's first ever sponsored athletes. And on every single Never Summer sold from like 1994 to 1998, there was a really cool silver sticker. I know because I bought a lot of Never Summer snowboards, and it was of Gary doing this big method.
Yeah.
And so Gary was like a superstar, always, like in all of our heads a little bit.
Definitely,
He
yeah,
had
for
this
sure.
like energy about him that was just magical. He would like win every contest he ever entered, if it was a drawing, or he just like was magnetic and wonderful. And he was just a good friend of ours that we grew up together with. And then he became an employee of
we
our
convinced
coworker
him.
of Icelantic. Yeah, because he was a snowboarder.
Yeah, he was a snowboarder, and we'd known him forever. And then he got into this industry. Well, he went to film school in Vancouver, and but then he got into this industry working for
686?
686, and then Vans.
Don't
Patagonia.
forget about
Patagonia.
Arma.
Arma. And
Arm
Perky
Energy.
Jerky.
But he went and just like
Jerky.
worked with these major brands and was so successful with every one of them. Every single one of those brands, like they couldn't speak higher of him, And I mean, whatever, you saw that down the road as well. But he was back in Colorado, and we were like thinking about marketing, and like I can't remember, you were doing the marketing at the time. It was like, okay, we need to find someone to focus on marketing, and like who could do it? And we're like, gosh, Gary would be perfect. So I remember we were in Denver one time, and he was in town because he was living in California. And we just like sat him down and we just started talking to him about it. Like, hey, what do you think? Like we know you're not a skier, but we know you know us, you know this brand. We love your ideas. Like you have the skill set that aligns with us. And it took us a little bit to convince him,
He's too cool for us.
Yeah, and he was making money. He was definitely making money. But we ended up convincing him to come back and doing it. And gosh, I mean, just the foundational like pieces that he laid for a marketing and how to tell a brand story and how to, and that was when we were like really just tightening up the line and our offering and simplifying and all those times, like, like you're saying, all these pieces that come into place, like his time was perfect to come into where we were as a brand and give us that like structure in terms of marketing compared to us just like run around chasing ideas, let's do a party, let's do First Fridays, let's do first tracks, let's do, it was like harnessed focus, alignment, like what is this brand? But yeah, I mean, how many years was he there? 3 years? 4 or 5.
Yeah, he was there for a while. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
The way that he would tell stories with product through merchandising,
Yeah.
and tell stories through apparel launches, through the lakeside photo shoots,
Yeah.
and tell stories through even your demo offerings. Like that presentation looked different.
Yeah.
Like it was like, no, this is how it needs to look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a
leveled up.
vision
Yeah.
for how everything. He was really, really good at interpreting how we all wanted it to look, and then establishing some guidelines and some visions to those brand standards.
Yep.
In a humble but assertive way.
Oh, the most humble.
Oh, and it had to be right.
Yeah, it was just crisp.
It was
Everything was so
yeah.
crisp.
It wasn't loose.
Where we were looking at those old photos of me and Scotty have 2 pairs of skis with a banner that we've dug into snow of like, yeah, that looks good. Super didn't look good. And Gary made everything look great
Yeah, he
and
did.
just tight.
He did.
And do you want to talk about what happened to Gary and just the process that you all went through losing him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember actually at Sam's wedding, I was at a table with him for the reception, and I had noticed his hand kind of looking weird, and I had noticed like his energy was like a little reserved, and that was when I knew that something was going on. And then it kind of started to trickle.
He was working
out.
for Patagonia.
Yeah, I was
'cause he
working.
had
Thank
left with
goodness.
us,
Yeah.
and he came to meet with us. I was actually in town for that.
Yeah.
And he was really concerned about his voice sounding
Yeah.
different.
His
Well, he
voice.
sounded really nasally. He'd
Yeah.
be talking, then all of a sudden be like, like it.
And he was vulnerable with us, and he was
Yeah.
nervous, and he was headed to see a doctor the next day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what we learned was bad.
Yeah, and so a few weeks later or whatever, he came, actually, I remember he came and sat down with you and I at the office in Golden, and yeah, he told us that he had ALS, and all 3 of us just cried together. Yeah, and he's like, it's a terminal situation, and I don't know how long I'll have, but I can probably only drive for, a couple more weeks.
Yeah, weeks.
Yeah, and so then, but then what happened from there is really beautiful. Like I always say that you really have to have a pretty big heart to go through something like that he did, because the amount of people that he brought together in his like swan song was just unbelievable. And one of his like kind of, sort of dying wishes was to to go take an epic road trip throughout North America and see all his best friends and all his favorite places and do things like skydiving and rafting and just go on adventures that he maybe had never done before or wanted to revisit. And he orchestrated this along with all of our buddies. And
Where'd you take him, Ashley?
yeah, where'd you take him, Ash? On
We
the
did
Snake
some
national
River.
parks.
Flaming Gorge. We did Snake River, and at that point, he went, and I think about like our company, Icelantic company Christmas dinner, when we were down at down by the baseball stadium, and
Yeah.
he had found
Vesta.
out. We're smoking a spliff, and he's like, some stranger came up and said they were having some sort of day. He was like, gave some ridiculous burn to him of being like, well, at least you're not dying. And I'm like, fuck, that reality. And he just was like, I'm going to go out with the biggest bang. And all of the homies came in together and doing this incredible trip where it would be, a week at a time of a different group of his best friends having a blast and going whitewater rafting and going out on boats and camping and having an amazing time. But how quickly that happens from him talking and being the same as all of us to fully reading on a screen to be able to verbalize what his needs were in that moment. And all the way to the end, he kept pushing it because God bless him. He was an absolute hero.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the toughest things was like thinking about him. Like, he was such a talker and a maker, and he used his
Yeah.
hands and his voice, and like that's what you lost. So it was like,
Yeah.
it was so tough to watch him just like lose that capability. But like his brain's the same. How he's processing is the same, and he couldn't do it. So it's like, it was so tough, but like also inspiring to see like how he did handle himself in that, and just like really go out still like on the top. It's
Speaks
pretty
volumes
wild.
to him as a person because
I mean, one of the things that really stood out was the fundraiser, just doing the fundraiser for him initially at the Ogden. Like that perspective of like, look at how many people
Love him.
he touched their lives. Like people flew in from all over the world, to be a part of that. And it generated a shit ton. Like, I think the raffle itself did like over $100,000 in raffle tickets,
$170,000 for him in a month and a half.
Yeah.
Holy cow,
was
that's a
unbelievable.
lot.
Yeah.
And it was brands, every single brand he'd ever worked with sent us. I mean, I think we had rooms and rooms and rooms and rooms of just stuff.
Well, I mean, all the companies too. I mean, just on his work side, every principal from every company that he worked with came, and it's just like,
And every band donated their time, and the Ogden donated their time, and all of that went to, with that money, we totally 88 his whole house.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something about Gary and losing him that even in loss really encapsulates the culture of how you all have operated through everything, which is like bringing people together.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something really beautiful about like even in the dark moments, you still operate the same way.
I think it also speaks to the vulnerability of doing this as a family of friends, because this is deeper. Like, I don't think we are kind of an anomaly. You won't see companies that operate like this that are such a family. And so we're that much closer, which has so much benefits, and we reap those benefits, and there's so many dividends paid, but there's also vulnerability in that. But I wouldn't trade it personally.
No, I wouldn't trade it for the world of best friends, go through everything together, the highs of the highs, the lows of the lows, and keep cruising through those mediums when they happen.
Yeah, and manage your relationships so that you're still running a business,
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's what you're hitting on, but there's vulnerability there when you work this closely, and we're this close as humans, whether it's losing someone or having to make tough business decisions. I think,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you started with the truck accident. And
That's small fries.
Still
compared to
fixing
the-
it's like through all these hurdles, like there's still a love at the core of it all.
Yeah.
I'm finding that that's sort of the brand itself,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Totally.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah. Yeah,
is
we're
love.
creating life together. You know, that's kind of how I've always looked at it. And continuing to grow all the time too as people. Like, we are the same people that we were when we started this 20 years ago, but we're also so not the same people at all, you know?
Yep.
So it's been fun I always say that I've never been married, but like, I actually have been, I feel like.
It's a modern relationship. Modern family.
But to commit to something for 20 years in like a wholehearted way is not easy. I've wanted to quit like at least 20 times, you know?
Once a year.
Once a
that's
year.
And I did that math going too. I'm like, damn.
At the same time, though, I've been like offered opportunities to work for other brands, and I'm like, you clearly don't know me or my people very well if you're even offering me that.
100%. I don't see any world of being like, oh, let's go work in another facet of the ski industry. Of like, no,
Yeah.
we've got our thing that we built from nothing. Of like, it was the vision, and like I said before, it's what attracted me to this was you two, Trivy, Par.
Look at this room.
And then Sam. And to me, it is family, it is life, and it is ride or die till the end. And we will thrive, but we will have some ups and downs along the way.
No question.